One of my favorite things about the start of the school year was getting a brand new pair of shoes. Wow, it was awesome. Why did I love getting brand new shoes? Well, because whenever I put on my brand new pair of shoes, my feet felt energized. I knew that I could run faster than ever. I knew that I could jump higher than ever. All because I had brand new shoes on. I used to name some of my shoes Lightning. Now, we all probably had the same shoes because there weren't a lot of shoes to choose from. Same kind of choice. There's these white Nikes with this blue Nike symbol on the side. They were the most cool shoes ever. Or if you got them in pink, that was really awesome. Well, I just put on my shoes. I'm going to show you how fast I can run. I'm going to run all the way down to the end of the sanctuary there. Are you ready? You don't want to blink and miss this because I got my feet ready. I got my shoes ready to go. Here I go, ready to go! Can you see me jumping up and down? Here I am. Okay, running back. Run. Whoa! Wow, that was really fast. Shoes are really important. Would a football player, when he's ready to play the game of football, go onto the field and he'd have flippers that a diver would wear that would help him swim? He'd have to run around like this on the field. Would a basketball player go onto the wooden court with metal cleats on his feet? He'd be ready to run and jump, but the wooden cleats might be really stuck into the court and he wouldn't be able to move and jump effectively. No, he wouldn't be able to do that either. The shoes we wear are really important. In winter, our winter boots protect us from getting really cold. We wear rubber boots to protect us from the rain. We wear sandals when we want our feet to be exposed to the sun when it's really warm outside. Shoes are important. Today we're learning about a new piece of the armor of God. And where do we find the armor of God? In the book of Ephesians. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, Galatians, and Ephesians. You guys can do that. I know you can. And then in chapter 6, verse 10, we read, "Finally, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes, against the sneaky serpent's plans. For our struggle is not against the flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you and me, we can be able to stand strong, to stand our ground." And it says, "Stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist." We learned about the belt of truth. What was the belt of truth? The belt of truth was remembering God's word, remembering the word so that when the sneaky serpent tells lies into our ears, "You're not good enough. No one loves you," we can say, "Forget it, because I know the truth of God." It says that nothing can ever separate me from God's love. It says that he loved me so much he sent his son to die for me. So forget those sneaky lies. I believe in God's truth. And then we learned about the breastplate of righteousness. Who remembers what the breastplate of righteousness was? That's right. It's about being right with God. It's about Jesus being the Lord of our lives and us dedicating our lives to follow him. And then that helps protect our heart and our vital organs against from the attacks, against the schemes from the sneaky serpent, so that we can stand strong. And today it says in verse 15, "And have your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace." Wow. So we have a belt of truth, a breastplate of righteousness, our shoes. Let me see, can I get my shoes up here? The shoes of the gospel of peace on our feet. Now, last week we learned a little bit about the gospel message. What was it? It's the good news. The good news that Jesus died for all of us so that we can be made right again to live with God one day in heaven, that we will follow him. And the shoes mean that we are ready to go and spread that message, because the last thing that Satan wants is for us to share faith with people. Sometimes it's a little scary to tell people that we go to church. Sometimes it's scary to tell them that we believe in Jesus, but that's what we need to do. We need to be ready to go and tell. I was doing a little bit of research about shoes that the Roman soldiers wore, and it said sometimes the shoes had big spikes in the bottom of them so that they could stand their ground, so that they could be really firm. Sometimes it's said that the shoes are really important because the enemy would throw out rocks and nails and glass, and they'd litter the field of battle with all sorts of things that could hurt your feet. If you stub your toe, is it easy to walk? No. If you cut your foot on glass, is it easy to run and share the good news? No, it isn't. So we have our feet covered with the gospel message, the shoes of peace, that Jesus is with us always, that we can have peace in his presence and knowing who he is, so that we are always ready to share the good news of Jesus Christ. Wow, this armor is looking up to be pretty cool. So in today's Bible study, we're going to look at a time when Paul and Silas were in prison. And even though they were in prison and it could have meant their death, they were ready to share the good news of Jesus Christ with their jailer. So let's watch our video, and after that, there's going to be an activity for you to do with your parents.